And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting Saturday Night Winestream and another exciting episode of Drink with Rick. I'm Rick, and tonight, well, we have a really big show for you tonight because I have not one, not two, not three, but four tastings, and one of each type of beverage that we have been reviewing on the show in the past, except for the coffee. I do have a coffee, and I am going to give that a little bit of review, but we're not going to brew that tonight. But we are going to do the wine, the beer, the cider, and the mead. So join me here tonight for all of the fun, and we'll get right into it. You know, if you're joining me for the first time or for the 151st time, because this is the 151st episode, 251st episode. Wow, where am I? Where has the time gone? I mean, this is the 251st episode of Drink with Rick on the Saturday Night Winestream, and I'm happy to be here. I hope you're going to join me for this, and we'll have a great time. If you're joining me here for the first time or for the 251st time, this is Drink with Rick. This is a stream of consciousness kind of show. Now, I do have my show notes, and they're right here, but I don't always follow them verbatim. Sometimes I don't follow them much at all because the show's not about me. It's a little bit about the wine and the other beverages that we're going to review tonight. The show is really about you and me getting together on a Saturday night, just kicking back, relaxing with our favorite libations, and just having a good time. Now, because of this, we don't talk about hot topics that can be rather volatile. We can talk about a lot of other things that you want to talk about. You know, we want to keep it family friendly because this is a family friendly show. Yes, I know we're reviewing the alcoholic beverages, but we do review other things as well, and we have a good time in general. So it's a family friendly show. So let's keep it that way. We don't talk about politics and we don't talk about religion on the show. We talk about things that bring people together as wine does. And that's the goal of the show, really, is to just kind of bring people together and just kind of forget about all the worries of the day, forget about all the stuff going on in the world, and just because we need that. You know, especially these days, in these times, these difficult times, we need a little bit of a break. And we need a little bit of a mental break, and just to kind of chill, to just sit back and just sort of detach ourselves a little bit. I don't mean to detach from the world entirely, but detach a little bit so we can kind of give our minds a rest, give our brains a rest, give our psyches a rest, and that hopefully that's what we can do on this show. So please get into the chats live and chat with me there. Now, if you want to chat with me live, you can chat with me. Let me see where it is here. There we go. You can chat with me live. Look at that. We're live here on the webpage at drinkwithrick.com. We're live on the website, drinkwithrick.com. And if you want to, you can chat with me live. Well, you can actually watch me live there. I don't have a chat going on the Drink with Rick homepage, but you can chat with me on these other venues. And let's see where we can do that. Let's go to the Winestream page. There we go. You can chat with me live on our Facebook page. The Facebook page is facebook.com/drinkwithrick. Kick is, we're no longer on Kick. I forgot to take that down, didn't I? No, we're no longer on Kick. We kicked off. We kicked them off. We gave them the boot. Odyssey. We are on Odyssey. Odyssey is at Drink with Rick, colon and the number 7. We are on Rumble. Rumble is just type in Drink with Rick. You'll find it. Twitch is twitch.tv/drinkwithrick and the number 1. Drink with Rick 1. Also, YouTube. YouTube, of course, is youtube.com/@drinkwithrick. And we are now on X. Now, that's not on the page. I forgot to put it up there. My bad. Sorry about that, folks. I had a lot going on this week. It's been very, very busy. But I'll get it up there after the show, and we'll have it there for future episodes of the Saturday Night Winestream. But that's X. And X, which is formerly Twitter, is at Drink with Rick. So there you go. Also, if you can't watch live, and you can't watch now, and you can't watch later, you can listen to the podcast. The podcast's available anytime, day or night. The podcast goes out on Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. 10 p.m. Eastern Mondays, and you can subscribe at any of these venues. You can subscribe. Let me pull up that whole page there. There we go. So you can see all of them. There we are. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Blueberry.com, podcastindex.org. TuneIn, Deezer Radio via RSS, because that's how podcasts are delivered, and by email. Now, if you click on this button that says by email, you'll get a page where you can enter your email address. Just enter your email address and just click the little blue subscribe button down below it, and you'll get the latest episode of Drink with Rick as soon as it drops, and no salesman will call. It's just to get the podcast. Also, if you want to support the show, you can buy me coffee, or 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever that you can afford to do, that helps keep the lights on, helps keep the show going, and provides for the prizes that we give away. I'm not really making any money on the show, to be honest, but it does kind of help offset the costs of some of those things. So if you can do that, I'd really, really appreciate it. Of course, obviously, subscribe. You can follow and ring the bell and all that other stuff in all these venues. Please, if you can, subscribe in all these venues. That's free. That's absolutely free. So you can go to all these venues and subscribe to the show there, to the podcast, or to the Winestream, and follow along and that sort of thing. That goes a long way to supporting the show. Really, it does. And it doesn't cost anything. It's free. And you can't beat free, right? No. So that is what we've got going on there. And by the way, I want to give, let me get back to the main, here we go. I want to give a shout out to Jay Kahn, my friend Jay Kahn there, who just today, he bought 5 coffees on Buy Me a Coffee. He bought 5 coffees for me, and he was saying congrats on the new season, and he's looking forward to it, and it's here. So thank you, Jay Kahn. I really, really appreciate it. As a matter of fact, let's check the chats while we're here and see what's going on in the chats. Let's see. Facebook is quiet for the moment. And I hope that we're, yeah, there we go. We are streaming live on Facebook. We are everywhere we can be. Island Hayes is in the chat on YouTube. This Island Hayes says, "Evening, Rick. Happy to see you back." Well, Island Hayes, it's great to see you back here as well, and it's great to be back. And we're going to have a lot of fun, and we've got a lot of stuff to check out here tonight. Island Hayes says, "Had a watch party of Space Apes from Ice Planet Alpha last night with J-Con. Funny film." Well, wow, I really, really appreciate that. You liked it. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I want to say thank you very, very much. It's much appreciated. And I I can't get back to my. There we go. I had planned on decking out this area with another set of buttons, but that didn't happen in time. Just things happen. Things don't happen. But let me see. Let me check the other chats. We are live on X. I really don't know how to see where the tweets are going there right now. All I can see is me laughing at myself on screen, and that's about all I got right now. Let's see, Rumble, we're there on Rumble, and JCon is live on Odyssey, and JCon says, you are an alpha male tonight doing 4 samples. Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I don't know how this is going to end up, to be honest, JCon. But once again, hey, thank you very, very much for your contributions to the show. JCon says, I watched your great film, Space Apes from Ice Planet Alpha. I very much enjoyed it and had some good laughs. Speaking of alpha males, why don't you have a man's beard anymore? Yeah, that's a long story. Well, not that long, but it's. I tell you what, remind me, please, remind me, and we'll get to that as we get down into the models here, and I will regale you with that story. And I don't know if I'm so much of an alpha male after I tell that story because, you know. Well, I'll tell you the story when we get into the bottle here. And hopefully my lovely wife, she's in the chat, and she can help guide me through that story because she's very much a part of it. She is a part of it. All right, so here's what we got going on tonight. Let me find my photos. Okay, this is what we got. For starters, this is just for starters, we are opening a Rascal Pinot Noir. This is a Pinot Noir from Oregon. And this is a very interesting looking wine. And I picked this out because originally I was going to have this during the dog days of summer, but we went on that little hiatus, and that didn't happen. So, there you go. So let me pull up some information on this because I do have some information on it. Here's the back of the wine. Let me read the back of the wine. This is the back. It says Rascal, and it gets a Clean Label Project Purity Award. To be honest, I really didn't do any research to find out what that means. You know what? It does say on the front, it does say Rascal. I don't know if you can read it there. It's a 2022 Oregon Pinot Noir, proud supporter of the Humane Society of the United States. Well, there you go. Oh, that's good. I'm all for animals. I like animals. We have a dog, and that was, I don't know if everybody caught the cold open there, but Amber kind of snuck in there and grabbed her little treat at the very beginning of the show. Roadkill Bill was there. She didn't bother Roadkill Bill at all. She just got the treat, took off. It says here, Rascal sets out to create exceptional Oregon wine that inspires dog lovers to indulge while giving back to national and local foundations, including the Humane Society of the United States, Oregon Humane Society, and more. Our commitment to quality wine is as important as our commitment to the cause we support. So they support, it says produced and bottled by the Great Oregon Wine Company in Dundee, Oregon, and there is 13% ABV in this 750 milliliter bottle of wine, and this is a 2022 vintage. So there you go. Let me take that lower third off here just a minute. Okay. All right, so that's the wine, and in addition to the wine tonight, we're going to be reviewing a is it down here? Yes, it is. Yeah, waiting to be consumed. We're going to open a peanut butter beer, or peanut butter ale. This is going to be very, very interesting. I also have a cider. I'll tell you more about that, and a mead. And I have some interesting stories with the mead too. All right, so let's get to opening the wine, shall we? And let me check the chats one more time, and we're good in the chats. And let me get. Oh, you know what? I don't need my decorker tonight. We're just going to unscrew it. There we go, with the cap. And since I don't need anything else besides the foil cutter and the decorker, I can just pop in the aerator. There we go. That's ready to go. Well, that was quick, wasn't it? And let's get on a close-up here. There we go. And to hold the grape nectar, I have my genuine Galway Irish crystal glass given to me by my employers at bytwowayradios.com. Now let's go ahead and pour just a little bit of this wine into the glass. Just for starters, that's for the ASMR crowd. I understand I have a following of ASMR fans. They like to hear me slurp and munch and all that kind of stuff. To each their own. Anyway, my lovely wife Cheese in the chat on YouTube, and she says, hey, and hey right back at you. She says, good looking guy. Well, thank you. My wife has made me the man I am today. And by the way, I don't know if she caught that earlier, but Jaycon, to your question, that's tied right into your question. Gee, Jaycon wants to know why I'm not wearing a beard anymore. I'm going to tell him all about that in just a little bit, and I'll try to keep it as accurate as possible. Okay, so let's see. Don't we need some swirl music to go with this? Swirl music. Where's my swirl music? Okay, let's give this a nice swirl and start off with more cowbell. There we go. More cowbell. Okay, we got it. We got a little swirl going there. Let's set that aside for just a minute. I'm just going to give it a chance to breathe. I didn't really aerate the wine that much. Chi says, ooze, he wanted to look like nice human in Planet Alpha. Yeah, that was before I cut my beard. So, Jaycon says, women can change a man for sure. It looks like both of our women changed us for the better. Cheers. I know, and you know, it's not a matter of being an alpha male or not. It's being matter. You know what? I'm not going to go there right now, but I'd say that's very much an alpha male thing. You know, to take care of our women, to care about our women, right? All right, so we're going to go ahead and give this a sniff in just a moment. A whiff, a sniff, and a snort. And let me check. Let me find out. Let's find out a little bit more about this wine before we start doing that, because there is a little bit about this wine to learn. And this Rascal wine, Oregon, of course, Oregon makes some pretty decent wines, like Washington State and like California, North Carolina. Oregon does make some pretty good wines. And I looked it up. Let me see if I can find out what I did with all my information here. I've got that one. I don't know what happened to my other one. I had another site on here with their information on the wine, but I don't have it up anymore. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to that. But I can tell you that a little bit of background on the wine. It is from Oregon, and it is, and I think we already mentioned that it is supporting the Humane Society, which I really like that aspect of it. So that's one reason I picked up a bottle of it. Because, well, the other reason is because I saw a dog on the bottle, and I'm kind of partial to dogs. So I thought, well, Rascal. And that's what I call our dog sometimes. I say, she's a rascal. And I thought, well, it fits. But I checked around a little bit online. Didn't find a whole lot of other information on it price-wise, although Vivino has it listed for $16.99 a bottle, and they give it a 3.4 star rating out of 395 ratings. So I guess that's not too bad. I just kind of skimmed through a couple of reviews. I didn't really study them too much, but it's the thing about the Oregon Pinot Noir is that it's a little more, it's a little different from the California Pinots, and it has a little, I think in some ways it has a wider range of flavors than the California Pinots. That's just my opinion, but cause California Pinots, I can't say they all taste the same, but yeah, you can kind of tell. You know, one California Pinot and another one. It's not too much difference in there for some of them. But when you get into Oregon, they do some things with their Pinot Noirs and their grapes that they it has a distinctive, little distinctive taste to it. The I think it says here, from what I saw here, and they were saying that it has a deep ruby coloring and it's fruit forward. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but we're going to try it right now. Let me check the chats one more time. So, and okay, well, I think we're good there. Anything going on Twitch? We have folks watching on Twitch. Get in the chat and say hi, by the way, on Twitch, and tell me how you're doing. Tell me what you're drinking or not drinking, or what you'd like to be drinking, or what you'd like to see me drinking. And if I can afford a bottle of it, I'll see if I can find it. I'll drink it too. I have a tough time finding some of the wines. Some of them I've been able to find. Some of them have been a bit of a challenge, the ones that folks have recommended, because every region, every area is different. Some distributors cover certain areas and don't cover other areas. In North and South Carolina, the distributor we have here, they do carry a wide variety of wines, but they don't carry everything that there might be on the West Coast or somewhere else. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and give this wine a little bit of a whiff. I think I'm caught up on the chats here right now. I think. Let me see. Okay, I think we're good. All right, let's give it a little bit of a whiff. Yeah, lots of cherry in here. And a little bit of strawberry. And it does smell a little oaky. Just smell it. Let me see if it tastes that way. Oh, yeah. Cherry and some smoke. Yeah, it's a little bit smoky. Cherry and some strawberry. And I like to say there's a little bit of a hint of vanilla in here too. Now, what did they say? See, on their website they said something about this, but I don't remember what it was. And but that's what I'm tasting in it. Cherry, some strawberry, some smoke. It's a little smoky, and a little vanilla, and yeah, it's a little oaky. And this is a fairly. This one thing I like about a lot of Pinots. A lot of the Pinots that I like are the ones that are a little bit on the lighter side. They're not real bold. I don't like super bold wines. Some bold wines, yes, depending on what they are. They're not super bold. The tannins are very light. They're actually fairly smooth tannin. It's a 2022. Tannins are there, but they're very light and they're very smooth. And once again, I mean, this is a dry wine, so that you expect it to be a little bit tannic too sometimes, but it's not all dry wines are tannic, of course. But I would expect in a dry red that there would be some tannins in there if it's really dry. But this one's dry, but not tannic much at all. It's kind of light on the tannins. It's actually an easy wine to drink. I have to be careful because, this is an easy wine to drink. I have to drink, and see, it's fairly light-bodied. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, the lights don't do it justice, but it's fairly light-bodied. It's not real heavy-bodied, but there are some legs to it. It does have some tears. If you look up there, well, I don't know if you can see from there, but there are a few tears in there. 13% ABV. There's probably a little more than that in there, but it's okay. I like it so far. I like it. Well, let's see how it pairs with some foods. But let me check the chats one more time. Let's go look at the chats, and Yeah, I haven't forgotten about the story, the beard story. It's Jaycon says Pinot Noir candy bar. What does darkness of the wine tell you? What the darkness of the wine tells me, it could tell you a couple things. One, if it's dark but somewhat clear, that means it's look at that. That looks, no, I can't look at the wrong. There we go. See, it's kind of clear. It's a nice ruby, nice light ruby color, not too deep, but it's really nice. I like the color of this wine. The thing is, though, if it's really, really dark, it often, if it's a red wine, it's often a pretty good indication that's a very bold wine. And at least for me, if it's a really, really dark complexion, I'm saying, oh yeah, this is going to be a pretty bold wine. It's probably, not always, but probably going to be heavy on the alcohol. My experience with the wines that are darker like that, like really, really dark, they're going to be bolder, and there's going to be something like about 14.5 to 15% or more alcohol in the bottle. And I kind of prefer some of the medium to lighter wines anyway. Let's see. Also, sometimes the darkness of the wine can tell you some other things too about sediment. See, like right here, there's really, you don't see any sediment coming out through the bottle. That means it's, that can mean a few things too, but maybe it's filter or something. But oftentimes it usually means that it could be a lot of sediment in the bottle. This does have not a real super deep punt in it. The punt, the little dip in there, and it's not a super deep punt. It goes up to about to the first knuckle of my fat finger here, but it usually indicates that it's probably one for a little bit longer shelf life. It's not intended to be like a cheap off the shelf, drink it in 6 months kind of wine. You can let it sit for a year or two, a couple of years, and let it age a little bit more. As a 2022, this seems to so far have aged fairly well, but I like it. But sometimes if it's dark and not too clear, if it's a little bit on the cloudy side, that's a wine I think could be a little problematic, really. But let's see, this one's not. This one's a very nice, clear, very, very light complexion, and I'm enjoying it so far. But I want to pair it with some food, but especially before the food gets cold here. So let's go ahead and do that. Well, it's already cold. It's going to sit up here for a while. Zacharias Salazar is in the chat on YouTube, and Zacharias says, "It's great to see you here." It says, "What kind of beers do you like?" Oh, wow. That's a great question. I like a lot of different kinds of beers. But I prefer, my boss now, he really likes IPAs. And I can drink an IPA or two if it's not too hoppy. He likes it, the hoppier the better. I like them kind of, like a little bit lighter medium hoppiness if it's going to be an IPA. I prefer the porters. I like dark beers, and I had a porter the other night, one that we reviewed on the show in the past. I liked it so much on the show that I said, I've got to buy some more of this, and I have been buying more of it when it's available. But I like that porter. It's a good beer. I like some. I kind of like the medium to dark ales. And Zacharias says same. You prefer the porters and the darker beers as well. All right. I have. By the way, everybody, stick around a little bit because I've got something new to give away tonight on the show. So stick around, and I'll pick one or two people to get a giveaway on. I've got something really, really cool to give away. And I think you'll like it. Let's see, where are we? I'm checking all the rest of the chats. All right, I think we're good everywhere else. All right, I've got more chats to check than last time, I guess. Well, I don't know about X, but All right, but here we are. Let's go ahead and pair it with some foods. And I have on camera 3, let me pull up camera 3. I have just a few things to pair it with on camera 3. And I think they're all things that could go pretty well with a Pinot. And first thing I have porterhouse, which is quite cold now. It's been sitting up for a better part of half an hour, maybe a little longer. But we're going to try it with the porterhouse. I am sure this should go with this wine. Now, here's the thing about when you get steaks, heavy steaks, and steaks like porter. And by the way, we don't have porterhouse steak every night, okay? This is just a special occasion, and these are leftovers. They're everything we do on the show, it's all leftovers, okay? Nobody's making a steak for this show, trust me. I don't have that kind of budget, and I've already blown it on all this booze. So, yeah, so anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. This is the kind of steak that you can serve like a wine that's a dark red wine, maybe a little heavier wine. There was a lot more tannin in it, and a lot more, just when we were talking about the color of the wine, a full-bodied wine with it. A lot of those go great with steaks, beef, that sort of thing. This one I think is going to be fine with its Pinot, because a great steak, by the way. Thank you, Chief. The thing about Pinot is it's a very versatile wine. It can go with a lot of different foods. It can it'll pair with a lot of different kinds of foods. And this steak is cold, so it's getting all. It was a nice tender steak when we had it tonight, but I reheated it in the microwave for the show, and that kind of dries it out a little bit. It's still a good steak. And this is a good pairing. Now, I mentioned that I was tasting some smoke in the wine. A little bit of smokiness and a little oak. That works out very well with this steak. Now, I don't think you didn't cook it on the grill tonight. I think you cooked this on the stove, but I think there is still a little bit of smokiness in the steak, and I think it pairs really, really well, the two of them together, with the wine and the steak. That works really well. I'm going to go ahead and clear the palate for just a moment. And let's try it with this cheese here. I'm keeping it simple tonight because we have a lot to cover. Go back to camera 3 there. There we go. All right, so here's the cheese that we have. Now, this cheese should go pretty well with it as well. Well. All right. So let me explain something about this cheese. This is and we've had it on the show numerous times. We've had it on the show numerous times in the past. This is the creamy Toscana cheese, and this creamy Toscana has Syrah in it. And in the past, I said, well, it's got this Syrah in the, I don't know if you can see it up real close, but there it is. It's got a little Syrah there. But I was wrong about that, because in the past, my lovely wife, she told me, she'd bring the cheese up to me, and she'd just say, hey, here's some creamy Toscana from Trader Joe's. And I thought, great, and she says it has Syrah in it. Okay, so I thought it was just Syrah, because there's another cheese that Trader Joe's sells that has I think it has a Merlot, and it has a Merlot on the edge there. I thought that was the same thing. So all this time, I have to make a slight retraction here, folks, because all this time I've been thinking, well, it's the same deal with this cheese, that it's Syrah here's on the end. I happened to check the cheese. We got to open up a fresh package tonight. I happened to check the label on the cheese for the first time. I never really looked at the label that much in the past, but I opened it up, looked at it this time, and to my surprise, I found out that this isn't just a cheese with Syrah. This It's called Creamy Toscana Cheese. And it says it's soaked in Syrah. Now, that's different from just having some Syrah on it, right? From having a little bit of Syrah in it. It's soaked in Syrah. Let's give it a try. And there's another shoe to drop on that one. Now, this is a really nice cheese, by the way. See how it pairs with wine. Oh, wow. I like that. Very nice. This wine goes very well with the Syrah. Now, I jumped the gun there a little bit, didn't I? Coastal Syrah? What's that? Well, here's the deal. It turns out, here's the other shoe. It turns out that it's not only soaked in Syrah, it's soaked in Trader Joe's, also known as TJ's, Trader Joe's Coastal Syrah. So their own label, their own Coastal Syrah label, that specific wine is the one, according to the label now, it's soaked in the Trader Joe's Coastal Syrah. Not just any Syrah, but the Trader Joe's. Now, I don't think we've ever reviewed the Trader Joe's Coastal Syrah on the show. I haven't done that in the past simply because there were so many. One thing, there were so many other wines to review, and for another thing, I thought, well, Trader Joe's, it's a label. It's I don't know, but we have reviewed other wines that were a label. As a matter of fact, the very first wine that we reviewed that kicked off this whole show was a Target labeled wine. Of course, obviously, Target doesn't make their own wines. It's their label, So that's what we do. So, maybe I'm rethinking this a little bit. I'm thinking maybe we should review a Trader Joe's Coastal Syrah. I don't know. What do you think? Leave your comments in there, or email your comments to me, rick@savoymedia.com, and let me know. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna clear the palate one more time, and let me go back to chats again one more time because I got a little sidetracked on my little whatever it was I was doing, and Zachariah says, yeah. Okay, we caught up there. And it's quiet on, it is quiet. Twitch is saying it's quiet, too quiet. We have viewers on Twitch, just as nobody's in the chat. Hey, jump in the chat and say hi. And tell me what's going on. You can ask me questions. I'm an open book pretty much. So Jaycon says, Jaycon says, so is it time to tell the story about the beard? Almost. We have one more thing to, I know, I'm getting to that. It's so much excitement. Let's see. I've got one more thing. I'll go back to camera 3. One more thing to try this with. Now, here is another story. This, and we get this from Trader Joe's too. Don't we get everything from Trader Joe's? No, not really, but we get a lot from Trader Joe's. A lot more than we used to before we had a Trader Joe's in the area, and I'm glad we have one. So this is a garlic stuffed olive. Which camera am I on? Right here. This is a garlic stuffed olive. It's stuffed with with an olive. And I love these things. I eat these things just to snack on. They're great. But one of the things I love to do with these, I love to have these with cheese and wine. Wine and cheese. Not necessarily in that order, but all three together. Wine and cheese and these garlic stuffed olives here. Of course, you can guess that my lovely wife insists that I gargle before bedtime. Because she can smell the garlic stuffed olives all the way across the room. But yeah, there's some TMI for you. That's I know. But here are the garlic stuffed olives. I'm going to try. I love to try it with the wines. I've had them with a number of Pinots. I like to have them with the Merlots and the Bordeauxs and all of those the different wines. I'm going to try it now with a Pinot Noir. Here we go. And you know what? I need a. It wasn't that funny. I need it with a drum roll. Here we go. Drum roll, please. And I haven't had it with the wine yet. These are great olives, by the way. Need another drum roll. That's not a drum roll. Oh yeah, I like this. Oh yeah, I think I'm going to finish this bottle later with the rest of that bottle of with the rest of those olives. I like that. So all the way around, a winner all the way around on the wine. I like this wine so far. I like the Rascal wine, and it's paired very well with everything I've tried it with. So I'll give a final review at the end of the show because, as you well know, you don't really know the personality of this wine until you get down into the bottle. I don't know. I don't think I can get too far down into it tonight because we have some other things to try it with. We have the beer coming up next. Oh, and what a beer. I'm looking forward to trying this out. This should be very, very interesting. I don't have anything to pair it with, but something tells me I probably don't need to pair it with anything. I was looking around for some chips or something before the show, and I said, well, this kind of beer, I don't know if I can pair it with anything. I'm not really sure about that, so I think we're going to leave that alone for the time being. Anyway, let's get back to the chats for just a moment, and we'll toast the national days, and then we'll get to the beer. That could be fun. Zacharias says peanuts is a good combo. Yes, and you know what? Oh man, Zacharias, I'm glad you mentioned that because wow, that I'm glad.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I wish I talked to you before the show. Now, I didn't have any peanuts. I had some boiled peanuts a couple of weeks ago. I don't have those anymore. I ate them all. Without, I think I had it with some beer. Anyway, the thing is, this particular beer that we're going to try coming up, I think it would have worked with peanuts. I think it would have worked great with peanuts because I couldn't find anything else that I thought would work with this particular beer. We'll get into that in just a few minutes. But before we do... Yeah, Island Hayes says you could still rock the beard if you have any of the carpet fuzz from Ice Planet Alpha left. Yeah, that's true. I gave you applause instead of laughter because, yeah, that was a winning. I like that. Where was it? Oh yeah, you know what time it is now? Before we get to the beer, because we traditionally toast this with the wine. Before we get to the beer, we traditionally do this kind of toasting with the wine. By the way, I have a short film to show you if anybody wants to see it. A little short film. I think some of you have seen it already, but some of you haven't. So we'll show that in a little bit later too. Let's get to the toasting. And let me get my toasting. There we go. Toasting. Oh yes, the national days. We're going to toast the national days tonight. And I have a confession to make. I was prepared. I prepared myself way ahead of time for the national days. Unfortunately, I could not obtain what I needed to obtain for one of these national days. I wish I could have, but there's a story behind that too. I'll tell that one during the national day because it's an interesting story. So the first national day we have to toast. There is my list. Here it is. Here we go. Our first national day, November 2nd, which is today for another hour and 7 minutes, is, yeah, we'll get to that other national day here shortly. It's, there's another national day that I think we're all aware of, or should be. But today, November 2nd, 2024, is National Ohio Day. Yes, today is National Ohio Day. All day for the rest of the day. Now, what is National Ohio Day? By the way, all of these national days come courtesy of nationaldaycalendar.com. National Day Calendar is Marlo Anderson's site. He is the curator and CEO and curator, either way, it's interchangeable, of these national days. And Marlo, you still haven't made me an ambassador yet. If he's watching, he might be. He's popped in before. So anyway, Marlo, thank you for these national days. And I'm reading this from nationaldaycalendar.com, by the way. Founded in 2017 by National Day Calendar to celebrate Ohio as the 17th state to join the Union. National Day Calendar is committed to celebrating every aspect of our nation's diverse culture and history, which is why we proudly introduced the National State Days. And that is what they're doing here. So here's to National Ohio Day. I'll drink to that. National Ohio Day. Today is also, or was, still is, but it's kind of late to do this now, National Play Outside Day. Yeah, the first Saturday of every month, including November, is National Play Outside Day. I'll drink to that. I did not play outside. I sat inside and watched old sci-fi movies and got ready for the show. Did a lot of prep for the show. So today is also, November 2nd is, let me pull this up because I think do I have it up here? I have it ready. Yes, I have it all ready to go. Today is National Bison Day. That's right. It's National Bison Day, and I don't have a bison thing, so there's a chicken.
Oh yeah,
I love bison. Bison, and if you work for PETA, I'm sorry, don't get offended, but I love the taste of bison. It's very good. It's very rich meat. If you've never had bison, if you've never had a bison burger, you're in for a treat. You should try it. Bison is great. Now these things are mean. I wouldn't go and try to walk up to one and pet it or something. Bison are not really pettable creatures, if you know what I mean. You don't want to have a bison as a pet, so to speak. But they are good eating. They are good eating. So here is National Bison Day. I will heartily drink to that. So I said that I had a story about bison. Here's my story, real quick. Everybody ready for a good story? I don't know if it's a good story. It's a story. Not much of one. Alan Hayes says, you could still rock the beard if you have any of the... Oh, I read that already. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's almost time for the story about the beard, Jake. I'll do it during the beer. The beer and the beard. Beer and beard, and get it? Beer and beard. Yeah, well, what could I say? Not one of my better dad jokes. Where were we? Oh, that's an old one. Let's get back to those things. Okay, national days. Where were we? Where's my bison? Where's my... Okay, bison. I don't need to show the bison now. It's okay. So the bison story. Okay, so my wife and I went to the farmers market, local farmers market down the road. It wasn't right down the road. It was kind of far down the road. 20-minute drive down the road. Anyway, so we went to the farmers market, and I hadn't been. She kept telling me I'd been to the farmers market, but I couldn't remember ever going. But I went, and I'm glad I went because they had several vendors there at the farmers market. They had not one, but two vendors selling mead and cider, and I think two vendors selling wines, locally produced wines. But then I was walking by, and this one guy at the end of one of the rows, and this one guy stopped me, and I was wearing my two-way radio show T-shirt. That's the podcast I do for work, the two-way radio show podcast. And he stopped and he said, "Oh, you sell two-way radios?" I said, "Well, yeah, I work for a company that sells two-way radios." I stopped him, and we were talking about that for a second. And then I took a look at his booth, and then I realized, whoa, I'm in I'm right where I need to be. This guy raises and sells bison. Yes, he does. He had a whole thing there of a freezer truck behind him with all kinds of bison meat. He raises bison for food. He has a bison ranch. I had no idea there was a bison ranch in North or South Carolina. But he's basically over the border in South Carolina. He has a bison ranch. And I'm thinking, wow, this is amazing, because you know how hard it is to find good bison? I every once in a while I'll come across a place where they have bison burgers, or I'll go to I think Bad Eddie's or somebody had a bison burger at one time. I don't know if they still have it, and every once in a while I'll have one. But this guy had everything. He had bison burgers, he had bison rump roast, he had bison short ribs. And I had no idea there was such a thing as bison short ribs. Now, one thing I did forget to ask him is if there was such a thing as bison bacon. I need to find out about that. Next time I go down there, I'll ask him. Anyway, so the guy was really cool, really nice guy, and he was telling me about his bison ranch, and he had all these pictures of the bison on his ranch. And by the way, if you don't know what a bison is, it's a buffalo, okay? Same thing. Buffalo, bison, it's a buffalo. And they were hunted to almost to near extinction in the 1800s, and then the ranchers said, "Hey, this stuff's pretty good, and bison meat's pretty good." So they cultivated and brought the bison back. So now you have these ranchers, and these things are huge too. So you can get a lot of meat off of one bison. A lot of burgers and other things. Anyway, so I'm talking to this guy, and I'm thinking, well, I'm still checking out the meads, and I had a couple other places I had to go, and I didn't want to walk around with some bison because they were frozen, but I didn't want them thawing out and going back because it was kind of a warm day. So I said, okay, you know what? I want to pick up some bison burgers and maybe some of those short ribs that you were talking about. And he showed me the short ribs, and they're frozen, freezer packed. And I thought, well, I gotta try this. So I told him, I said, okay, you're gonna be here. He told me he'd be here for another hour or two or something, whatever. And I said, okay, well, I'm gonna be back here because I want to pick up some of these. So I promised him I'd be back. And so Chi and I were going around and to some of the other vendors that we had to see. And then just as I was coming back to him, I said, I gotta go get the bison meat. She goes, okay, so we're starting to walk over there. And just as we're walking over there, and we came from behind from where the booths were, where his truck is. And I said, I got to run up there and buy some bison meat before he leaves. And so I ran up there, and just as I got there, the truck pulls out. He's in the truck and he's driving off. He didn't see me, I don't think. But I'm standing there. I'm like, wait. I want to buy some bison meat. And I'm standing there behind the truck, and it's pulling away from me. And I was just like, oh, man, I missed the bison meat. And it's driving off. And then she says, he'll be here next week. Yeah, but, Anyway, that's I need another... on that one. Anyway, so that was my bison story. Anyway, we're going to toast Bison Day. Here is to what do I do with my photos? Okay, wrong one. National Bison Day. Here is to National Bison Day. Oh, it's great meat, by the way. Zechariah says I'll have to try bison soon. You don't want to miss. It's very rich meat. It's a lot richer than beef. It really is. So here's National Bison Day. I will heartily drink to that. And by the way, bison would probably go really good with this Rascal Pinot Noir. Actually, bison meat probably goes best with some of the wines that we were talking about earlier that are a little more tannic and are maybe, let's see, it would go well with a lot of different wines, Cabs, Merlots, Chianti. Go with Chianti, and it go good with a lot of different wines that are fairly tannic, that are a little bit bold. It would go good with a really bold wine. Island Hay says, had some campfire cooked bison burgers recently. Good stuff. You really liked it? You liked it, huh? It is great, and it is richer than beef. And some people, I think it puts off some people to sometimes when they taste it because they're used to. I mean, beef is good meat. Don't get me wrong, I love beef, but some people are used to that. Beef is a little bit lighter and a little bit, I don't want to say blander, but it is a little bit than bison. Bison meat is a lot richer, and the thing is, bison meat is rich in iron. It's really good for you. Because bison meat's really rich in iron, a lot of iron in it, but because of that, now you kind of have to cook it a little differently. You have to be a little more serious about cooking bison than regular beef. But it's also leaner than beef. My understanding is it is a leaner meat. So I agree with you, Iron Hayes. It's really good stuff. It really is. So Jaycon says, how do you cook your bison? I don't really have any specific recipes for doing it, although I keep it on the grill longer than I would with a regular beef patty in some ways. But I don't season it as much as a regular beef patty as I do, because it is a little richer tasting. I don't do too much seasoning with it. But and you can pan fry it. You can, but it's better. I think it's better on the grill. It really is. The guy's going to give me some recipes. He has a whole bunch of recipes. Maybe I can pass some of those along next time I'm down there. Maybe we can do an episode with some bison meat, have some bison short ribs or something, and then he said he had a recipe specifically for cooking the short ribs because they have to be cooked differently than regular short ribs, and I was not aware of that, but that's what he told me. But it's good. It's good stuff. Okay, so what? Oh, we have another national day. We're still doing national days, right? I got off on the bison kick and I've been there. All right, today here's another thing that I really like. November 2nd is also. It's also. Let me get that up here. National Deviled Egg Day. That's right. I still have the bison here, don't I? Yeah, I have the bison here. Let me get out the bison. Let's get off the next thing. Hey, deviled egg. Here it goes. There are some pictures of deviled eggs for National Deviled Egg Day. There you go. Who knew? It was Deviled Egg Day, and I can tell you that I love deviled eggs. I can tell you that deviled eggs are probably not the healthiest thing for you, baby. But I've been known to eat a lot of deviled eggs. There's some more deviled eggs. They look like chickens, don't they? They really do look like chickens. But National Deviled Egg Day. I will drink to that. Why not? I've got a couple more pictures of deviled eggs. There's some more pictures of deviled eggs. Got a lot of pictures of deviled eggs. Yeah, so these are actually all public domain photos, so that's cool. I didn't take these, but they're public domain photos. So here is to National Deviled Egg Day. I will drink to that. You know what? This might go good with deviled egg. It might. I don't know. Didn't have one to try it with, but I'd be willing to try it. Why not? All right. We're also going to toast the national days for November 3rd because it's almost November 3rd in about 51 minutes. Almost 50 minutes. So I want to give a hearty toast out to the housewives on National Housewives Day. That's right. Today is National Housewives Day. And
yeah.
I want to say to all the housewives out there, here's to you. National Housewives Day. All right. It's also November 3rd is National Sandwich Day. Who doesn't love a good sandwich? National Sandwich Day. Yes. I love sandwiches. And you know what? Here is, in honor of National Sandwich Day, I have a national sandwich. It is a national sandwich. I guess you could say it's a national sandwich. I have the burger. Yes, it's here. It's the burger. It's the burger. We haven't shown this in a long time, but here's the burger. Yes, it is the burger. This is one that my lovely wife Chi made for me some years ago, and this has been one that we've shown periodically on the show. One of the best looking burgers I've ever had, and it was homemade, and I love this burger, and we're doing this in honor of National Sandwich Day. So here's to National Sandwich Day. I will drink to that. All right. There's one more national day that we are all going to have to toast. Everybody ready? What is everyone drinking, by the way? You don't have to drink anything, but if you are, what is it that you're drinking? And Zacharias says it's already November 3rd for me. Well, where are you located, Zacharias? Are you in the States? Are you in you're in Europe or in what country? It's already November 3rd, so you are a couple hours ahead, right? Because I'm on the East Coast, so you must be at least. You're in Sweden. Oh wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Zacharias, here's to you, by the way, in Sweden. Here's to you. Special toast to Zacharias. Sweden's a great country. It's I've heard a lot of great things about Sweden. I thought about one day if I was going to travel to Europe. That's one country I'd definitely like to spend some time in. Is in Sweden. And cheers to you, Zacharias. By the way, I have family, and a lot of my family's from I have Italian blood in me, so I'm from Italy. I'm not from Italy, but my grandparents were from Italy. They came over here, and we are actually looking at getting our Italian citizenship. So that's interesting. I didn't want to make that announcement until we knew we had it, but it's something we're working towards. I don't know when or how or if that's going to happen, but it's something that we've been working towards. Jaycon says, I'm grilling tonight besides the beard question. Oh, I'm grilling you tonight besides the beard question. Why is it your last season on the Winestream? Well, we can get into that when we get to the meat. we've got a little ways to go, but I guess I should get to that. Zacharias says, I drank all my beer when I went in a sauna with my friends, so I got nothing to cheer with. It's okay, and you can cheer with water if you want. It's okay. It's quite all right. It's fine. That It's like air guitar, you can do the air beer or the air wine or whatever. Yeah. I just toasted for you again, just in case you couldn't. It's fine. Let me check the other chats here. I'm zipping back and forth between them. I don't want to miss anyone in the chats tonight. I really don't. I've done that too many times in the past. I don't like to do that. Okay. I think we're caught up for the moment. Where was it? Oh, yes, we have one more national day to toast. I'm not sure if that really applies to you in Sweden, Zacharias, and because I don't know if you really follow this. I know some countries do and some countries don't, primarily in the U.S. Today, I know, I think everybody knows what November 3rd is. 2 a.m., just a reminder to everyone, at 2 a.m. tonight, Eastern time. What 2 a.m. is? I don't know. We do it at 2 a.m. I don't know if anybody else waits until 2 a.m. to do this or not. But at 2 a.m., you know that it is time to turn the clocks back because it is the end of daylight savings time. And what I want to say is, yeah.
I like it. Yeah, really?
I've never been a fan of daylight savings time, to be honest. I've never been a fan of daylight savings time. And I just want to say I am very, very happy that it is the end of daylight savings time tonight. And some people like it, some people don't. Here's the thing. I really don't care. Well, I kind of do a little bit, but I really don't care that much as to whether or not we're on daylight savings time or just regular time. I really, what it comes down to is what I really would wish is that somebody would just pick a time and we just stick with it. That's the thing. Just pick a time. I don't care. Pick any time. Just pick a time and let's just stick with it and stop going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth between regular time and daylight savings time, because it's not good for your health. They say that a lot of people, they say that when you're moving the clocks back and forth like that, it actually contributes to a higher percentage of heart attacks in people. Now, this is what I've heard. I don't know what the real statistics are or anything like this. And like I said, I'm not. I don't know. This is just what I've heard. But they say, whoever they are, who are they? I don't know. But statistically speaking, they say that that when you're changing the clocks back and forth like that, there are generally there's a higher rate of heart attacks. And I can believe that. I mean, that kind of makes sense, from a scientific standpoint when you think about it. But I'm just saying, just pick a time and stay there. That's all I'm saying. It's driving me crazy going back and forth between one time and the other, and then trying to keep track of it. And then, it's not so bad when you're going to work on Sunday, in the fall, because it's spring forward, fall back. My wife is, she's always getting confused by that. It's spring forward, fall back. And the thing is, It's not so bad when you're going to work on Sunday out in the fall, because you gain an hour. You're not really gaining; you're getting your hour back. Is what you're doing. You're getting your hour back. But spring forward, you're losing that hour, right? You're just moving it forward. And in the springtime, that's if you're not paying attention, that's where you get to be an hour late on Monday, right? So that just kind of messes with it. I think it just messes with people's heads in general, So I'm not a big fan of it. So here's to the end of daylight savings time. I will drink to that. And with that ends the national days. Once again, this is what we're drinking. We're drinking the Rascal Pinot Noir, 2022 Pinot Noir from Oregon. And They support the Humane Society of the United States. And so far, I really like this wine. It's a really, really nice wine. I'll probably buy another bottle of it. I did forget to mention what I paid for it, right? I mean, because traditionally, that's what I do. I mention it. Well, I have the receipt right here from Trader Joe's. And I did mention that I think Vivino said it was $16.99 on average. But my receipt here for the Rascal Oregon Pinot Noir, and I have it right here, I paid $11.99. $11.99 for this bottle from Trader Joe's. How long it will stay $11.99, I don't know, but I would say, get a bottle. I recommend this wine, but I'll give the final review at the end of the show. In the meantime, we've got beer and cider and mead to try, and I've got to give that a little bit of rest so we can prepare for that. So we'll get into that, and when you open the beer, I'll talk about the beard. And was there something else? There was something else that somebody asked me. Zacharias says if you ever go to Sweden, you should buy some tobacco snus. It goes great with beer. Did I say that correctly? Is it tobacco snus? Did I say that correctly, or did I mess that up? I mess everything up. I'm not. But it goes great with beer. I should try that. Let me write that down. Okay, Zacharias says, yeah. Okay, let me write this down. No, seriously, I do write this stuff down. I do. So it's not. It's only available in Sweden. What is it actually? So snus. It's great with beer. Tobacco. Tobacco. Oh, that's an O. Okay. What is it actually? Because I like to learn. It's a it's pot you put under your lip. Oh, interesting. All right, let me. I'm going to do some research on this. Definitely sounds very, very interesting. Okay, so we were going to open the beer now, right? Because we got the national days out of the way. Good. So we're done with the national days. And in the meantime, let's see. There is one more. Where's my other? There it is. Okay. Okay, so we've got the beer. So here comes the beer. And, of course, the beer is in the official Drink with Rick ice bucket. I kept it cold. And this is what we've got for the beer tonight. Let me go ahead and find this beer. I know I had a photo of it here somewhere. Where is it? Here's the beer. Tonight, we're going to open and try, and this is something really, really, it's out there for me. I've had a lot of different kinds of beer, but I have never had a peanut butter beer before. And this isn't just a peanut butter beer. This is peanut butter with a chance of fluff. No, so we're talking about peanut butter with marshmallows, I guess. So essentially, we're talking something like kind of a s'more, but not exactly s'mores, right? Peanut butter with a chance of fluff, because s'mores is like chocolate and marshmallow, right? I don't know about this, to be honest with you. I don't know anything about this, to be honest. Peanut butter with a chance of fluff. So we're gonna open this up. I've been keeping it cold because I'm gonna serve it cold. I'm keeping it cold. Yeah, the meat's in here too. Let's set that down for the time being. Peanut butter with a chance of fluff. Now here's the back. I've got the back of this, and I'm going to read the back of this here for just a second. It says, this is made by Deep River Brewing Company. And Deep River Brewing Company is Johnston County's first legal brewery. I don't know if you see that at the top. If you go back to the let's go back to the original one. I don't know if you can see the very top, but on the rim, the top rim, it says Johnston County's first legal brewery. And they have the legal in italics there. So that's weird. Legal brewery. So the other breweries were not legal. This is brewed. Now this is in Clayton, North Carolina. So this is my home state here, Clayton, North Carolina, and it says this is a brown ale brewed with peanut butter and marshmallow fluff. Peanut butter and marshmallow fluff. And it has an asterisk down at the bottom. I'll show it to you again here. Down the bottom it says, contains peanuts. So there are peanuts in here. So getting back to what you were saying, who was saying it before? Was it, I can't remember who was saying it now. It was Zacharias, it was Island Hayes. It was peanut butter with peanuts. We're looking for peanuts. It might have been Zacharias. You mentioned something to pair with the beer, with the ale, that peanuts would probably be the good. And I couldn't think of anything else I could pair with it. I had some corn chips and stuff down there, but I don't think that's going to fit with it. But this is peanut butter with a chance of fluff. Okay, we're going to open this up right now. All right, we're going to do it right now. And I'm going to do it in this mug, which has basically become the official Drink with Rick mug. I think it was Alan Hayes that was asking me about... Zachariah says it's like smoking a cigarette but no lung problem. The posh. Okay. It's like smoking a cigarette with no lung problem. Okay, well, that's... Alan Hayes says, perfect beer for sandwich day. Peanut butter and marshmallow fluff. They call it a fluff mutter. Yes. Yeah, I have heard of that. A fluff mutter. Fluff nutter. Fluff nutter. Is it fluff mutter or fluff nutter? I think it's fluff nutter, isn't it? Okay, well, let's pour a little bit of this in here. And we'll give it a nice little head here. I'm going to try to give it a nice, good head. Okay. There we go. And I got a new earpiece in here. The old one broke on me at the end of the last show, the last season. It broke on me at the very end. I got a new one. Trying to get it to fit right. Okay, so this looks... okay, let's look more closely. This is a darker lager, and I expected it to be a little bit... Actually, I thought it might be darker, but from what I saw in the pictures and stuff that I checked online, it was it looked lighter online, and I thought, well, I don't know, but this is a dark lager to me. And let me top this off a little bit. It's an ale. It's an ale. 6.2%. That's what it says here. 6.2% ABV. So there you go. I did look this up. And I lost my bookmark for it here. Let me see if I can find it again. There was the peanut butter with a chance of... Okay, here we go. On this website, untapped.com, they kind of given an average rating of about almost 3.71 out of 1,412 ratings. And some people did not like this beer. That's why it concerned me a little bit, because I was looking at a few of the reviews at the beginning, and there were some people that didn't like this beer at all. And then there were others that thought it was actually pretty good. And I thought, well, okay, that's an interesting mix. So we'll see how it fares here. Now, of course, I have, if I have it down here. Did I have it down here? I didn't bring them up here, did I? No, I didn't. Oh, well. There's so much for my show prep. So I had the official Drink with Rick beer tasting notebook. I had one, and I think they're all over there now. But the official Drink with Rick beer tasting notebook. But if you have one, if you have an official Drink with Rick beer tasting notebook, you can You follow along and review along with me, although I didn't bring mine up here. Let's give it a little whiff. Okay, it smells like an ale. With a few, I can actually smell a few hops in it. It smells like an ale. Let's see what it tastes like. I'm not tasting a lot of peanut butter in here, which it seems a little disappointing off the bat. I'm not tasting much peanut butter, but I'm tasting a little bit of marshmallow. Yeah, I'm not getting a whole lot of peanut butter in this. Now, it's not a bad ale. I mean, as beers go, it's not bad. It's just I was expecting something that was really heavy on the peanut butter taste, and I'm not getting that. That's the thing. And some of the reviews that I looked at said none. Other reviews said, yeah, it's really peanut buttery. So I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea. I just kind of went into this with an open mind, so I don't know. But or I didn't know. Now I can say that it's actually a nice ale, as ales go. Maybe there's a slight peanut taste to it. Not a whole lot, just slight. But it's tasting a little more like marshmallow than that. But that's not strong either. Okay, that's not a strong marshmallow taste either. It's very, very light. It's a decent ale though, and it goes down fairly smoothly. It has a nice balance of carbonation. Some light hops. It's actually a little light. Yeah, you'd think that it's something dark like this would be more malty. It's not really that malty. It's maybe a little bit, but it doesn't really taste that malty to me. Okay, I'm starting to taste, as I'm getting down into it, I'm starting to taste the peanut a little bit more. That's maybe it took some time for it to kind of aerate, to kind of work itself in there now, but it's tasting a little bit more like peanuts, just a little bit more. But you know what? I agree. I think that you could have this with peanuts. They probably go good with a good salted peanut, or like dry roasted salted peanuts, something like that. Maybe even boiled peanuts. I don't know. If you like boiled peanuts, some people do, some people don't. I happen to love boiled peanuts. Probably too much. Yeah, boiled peanuts have made me the man I am today. Anyway, so Island Hayes says, perfect beer for sandwich day, peanut butter and marshmallow fluff. They call it oh, I read that already. Actually, it'd probably be okay with a peanut butter sandwich. Why not? Zachariah says, I feel like a beer with a more nutty taste would taste really good. It does have a slight nutty taste. And then that's the thing about the beers. Some beers are going to taste, nuttier than others. There are beers that have a fairly nutty taste. This is one, I wouldn't say it's overly nutty, but it's got a little bit of a nutty taste to it. Yeah, this is kind of growing on me. It's going. Like I said, I'm not getting a whole lot of peanut butter in it. Marshmallow, not so much anymore, but it's actually not bad. I mean, I drink it if somebody served it to me and whatever, drink it. But I drink it with some peanuts or pretzels, I don't think I'd drink this with with some chips and stuff. Why not? Fish and chips, no. But yeah, I don't know, maybe. It does have an nuttier taste to it. Yeah, Zacharias, it does. It's not bad. I like the beer. I just don't think it tastes a whole. I was expecting when it said peanut butter, I was expecting it to taste like really heavy, like a peanut butter sandwich without the jelly in it, and maybe with some marshmallow or something instead of the jelly. That's what I was kind of thinking that it might taste like, but it doesn't taste like that at all, to be honest. But it's not a bad beer. It really isn't. So some of the mixed reviews from those who said he didn't like it, yeah, it's fine. It's okay. Maybe their expectations were set too high. I try not, when I do these reviews, and to be perfectly honest with you, when I do these reviews, I go in there with no expectations. I just say, hey, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this, and try this, and and I've had people that have tried to oversell me stuff, and I'm thinking, I can't really listen to that. I've got to. Okay, they might think it's great, or they, whatever. It's like Charlotte from Charlotte. This was some years ago for the second season of the Winestream, and there was a really nice lady. She was a really sweet lady. Her name was Charlotte, and she lived in Charlotte, so we called her Charlotte from Charlotte. And she recommended and is it up here? No, I don't think it's up there. But she recommended a particular wine. And she loved this wine. And I've told this story a few times. She loved this wine, and it was like her favorite wine. She says, you got to review this on your show. You got to review this. And I'm like, okay. So I found a bottle locally, and I reviewed on the show. And I didn't like it. And, it wasn't that. It was just not for me. It was just not my type of wine. It doesn't mean it was necessarily bad wine. It's just I did not care for that wine. So, and it happens, it does. So, but the thing is that she was just raving about the wine. But once again, I went in there with like, okay, I'm just going to go in there with no expectations. I might like it, I might not like it. I don't know, but let's just give it a fair and an honest review. And that's how I try to approach all of these. I'm not a sommelier. And everybody knows this, and I keep, I make that point very clear. I'm not a sommelier. I'm not a wine or beer expert. I'm an everyman that likes to drink wine and beer and whatever. And I know what I like and I know what I don't like. And that's how most all of us, that's how we drink wine. And I approach it from that point of view. And doing that, I think I can take a somewhat objective approach to it. Although, yes, I do have my biases. There are some wines I don't like particularly, but I'll try them. And there have been cases when a wine that I didn't particularly care for, like some of the white wines, that I'm not a big fan of white wines, but there have been situations where the white wines that I tried, they'd say, hey, try it anyway. I'm like, no, I'm not really crazy about the white wine, but I try it, and it turns out that if I just kind of sit back and just clear my head a little bit and say, let's just approach it from an objective point of view, just as someone who just is trying a wine for the first time, as I am, and sometimes it turns out I really like it. It turns out, and there have been situations where I have bought several more bottles of that particular wine because I thought, wow, this is actually a pretty decent wine. Even though I don't like white wines, I'll keep them on hand and for guests who come in that do like white wines, but I find myself drinking them sometimes anyway, just because I'm like, I'm kind of in the mood for that wine. I kind of liked it. So, yes, I do. I do try to approach this from a more objective point of view. I try to, anyway. Try to give you a fair review of it. Zachariah says, I don't know. All wine tastes the same for me. Do you like wines like Cava? Yeah, well, I I kind of gravitate towards the reds. The medium reds. Like the cabs and the merlots and the. But I'll tell you what. One of the things that this show opened my eyes to was trying a couple of different kinds of wines. Like I like the Bordeaux's and the Pinots and stuff like that. But and the whites, that's one of the things that it opened my eyes to was some of the whites. But there was one wine in particular that I had never tried before, that I tried for the first time. That was a Pinotage from South. That's a wine from South Africa, and I really like. That's become one of my favorite grapes. I really like Pinotage wines. There's just something about them that they can be a little bit bolder, but they're really great wines, and I love a good Pinotage, and that's a wine that specifically that grape is the South African grape. It's a combination of a Pinot and a Hermitage and anyway, it's it's a combo grape. We gotta start getting to some of these because I've been drinking a lot of wine and beer. Anyway, the Pinotage wine I have become very partial to, and I really enjoy those wines. So I can recommend most of those. I have not had a bad Pinotage wine, and we've reviewed I don't know, about 4 or 5, about half a dozen of them on the show, something like that, in the last almost 7 years. So I haven't had a bad one yet, to be honest. And Jaycon, okay, so we're in the beer now. We gotta move, but we're in the beer now, so I can tell the beard story, right? Okay, so, and we're getting ready to do the cider, and then we're going to do the mead coming up, both of those. So, the beard story. All right, so the reason that, and now what he's referring to is space apes, and for those who are not familiar with space apes, we're talking about space apes from Mice Planet Alpha. In a previous life, still in my life, I was into Super 8 filmmaking. Now, Zacharias, and you're from Sweden. There are a lot of people in Sweden and in Europe that are into Super 8 filmmaking. It's a small format film, and Super 8 cameras and that sort of thing, popular in the 60s and 70s and 80s up to the 90s when video started taking over. But there are people that's made a big comeback for a lot of filmmakers because it's now considered a really high art form, Super 8 filmmaking. And this actually, I think Jaycon, this kind of ties into your other question about why I'm ending the Winestream, but why is it your last season? I have not forgotten that question, okay? So I'm keeping up with this. But Zacharias, in Sweden and in other countries, they still do a lot of Super 8 filmmaking there, and it's kind of a thing here too. It's worldwide. So where was it going? Train of thought. I fell off that train some time back. Anyway, so in a previous life, I was into Super 8 filmmaking. Now, beard. Thank you, Zacharias. So that's what I did. Now, when I was younger, I'm really going to get in the weeds on this story. But when I was younger, in my 18, 19, 20-year-old phase there, I worked at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. That's where I'm from. I'm from Florida originally. And Walt Disney World, I worked there for 9 years. And during that time, as a young man, I was really tied in with the Disney culture. one of the things that they required at Walt Disney World was that you had to not have any facial hair for the guys. For the girls, and generally, I don't know. Times have changed. I don't know. Except for the bearded ladies and Disney, they didn't have any there. But except for the performers that could have, like the barbershop quartets and stuff, that was part of the whole shtick. They could have the mustaches. But if it was something where you're performing on stage, you could have a little bit of the facial hair. But for the rest of us, we weren't allowed to have facial hair, which was really ironic. It was completely ironic because Walt Disney had a mustache. He was very famous. His famous look was he had the Walt Disney mustache. Okay, and that was his thing. So I don't know. Anyway, so I worked there for 9 years, and during that time, when I took some time off to go have some surgery done, and I said, this is my time. I'm going to quit Disney, because I started working in television. I had gotten a job at a local independent television station. I said, this is what I really want to do. I finally got in there. It's time to quit Disney. And so when I took 6 weeks off during the time that I was having this surgery, and I was out for 6 weeks. And while I was gone, I would go in periodically to pick up paychecks and do whatever I had to do as an employee. And my boss would say, well, you're coming back in so many weeks, or 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, 2 weeks. You get ready to come back. And during that time, I said, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and quit Disney. So I'm going to start growing a beard. That was my thing. I'm going to start growing this beard. Yeah, I was getting it. It took a while to get there, right? So I started growing the beard. Soon, the minute that I left, that I quit my last shift to go on my medical leave, I started growing the beard. I had planned this. This was planned. So I started growing this beard, and while I was on this medical leave for 6 weeks, and I started growing out really nicely. And the last couple of weeks before I was supposed to, before I was going to come back, I'd go back in, and my boss would say, well, okay, you got that fuzz on your face, but you're going to have to shave that off before you come back to work. And I didn't really respond to him. But then, so 2 weeks before I was supposed to come back, I went in and to put in my 2 weeks notice, because I said, I'm not coming back. So my boss called me up to his office. It was upstairs office there, above the. This was in the Walt Disney World Village at the time. If Ed was here, he could corroborate some of this, because he worked with me. My good friend Ed, he's not here tonight, but he worked with me there for many years. So he called me up the office, and I said, I'm coming in here to turn in my 2 weeks, and I didn't tell him that right away. I just came in. He says, you're going to have to get rid of this thing, this growth you have on your face here before you come back to work, and you're scheduled to come back to work at such and such a date. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. He goes, what do you mean? I said, no, I quit. I'm putting in here's my official 2 weeks notice. And I turned in my 2 weeks notice 2 weeks before I was supposed to be back. So in other words, I was still on medical leave. So I figured that I'd never come back. That was the deal. And as soon as I put my notice down, his jaw just dropped, because he thought I was going to be a lifer there. And because there were a lot of, during that period of time, a lot of the people who worked for Disney were basically lifers, and they just that was what they did. That was their career. And I said, no, I'm not coming back. And I gave my notice, my resignation, And his eyes just got big and his jaw just dropped. And like, what are you talking about? Of course you're coming back. I'm like, no, I'm leaving. This is my 2 weeks notice. And I just turned around and walked out. And I turned, looking back, and he's like still staring at me like, I don't believe this. So that was a lot of fun. Anyway, so I had this beard, and I think, I'm keeping this beard. And I was really enjoying the beard because I originally grew it because of a rebellious attitude towards Disney, because they wouldn't let me have a beard. It was one of the rules, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to leave. And I was like, I can't grow facial hair? Come on. So I left. And by the way, it was some years later that they actually started allowing people to have facial hair. So there you go. But that's what I heard anyway. If Ed was here, he could corroborate that. But so when I went to work for WOFL, Channel 35 in Orlando, and nobody cared that I had a beard. It's like, it's just part of the deal. So, I had this beard, and I kept it on for a number of years. And then something happened that changed the entire game. I met my wife. Yes, I don't have a I don't have a yeah.
Oh, great.
No, that's not the one I was going to play, Chi. Come on, that is not the one I was going to play. That was one. That was one. So I met my wife, and sweet as she was, that was her only. And I actually, when I first met, and we were dating and everything, it never really came up. It never really came up the conversation. And then one day she says to me, you heard this, guys, right? Yeah, Jay Con, or yeah, who was it said? Was it Jay Con that said it? Yeah. I think it was Jay Con that said this. So you know how that's that one thing, when you're really getting serious about somebody, and then they want to know. I think they're kind of testing it on a Chi. I'm saying this, and Chi's in the chat. She knows, and we've been married for almost 31 years, so it's cool. She's a sweetheart. But then you get this. You get to this point where you know that that it's getting serious on her side when she says, if you really love me, yes. If you really love me, you'll shave off that beard. Yeah. So, and I like the beard. To be completely honest, I wasn't that attached to the beard. I mean, I like the beard, and I grew it because, once again, I was showing my rebellious side. And I proved my point already. And the beard was, I liked the beard. It was okay. But, to be honest, it wasn't getting me that many dates. A few, but not that many. It wasn't getting that many dates. There's some people that love guys with facial hair, and there are other girls that just don't. And my wife happened to be somebody who just did not like the facial hair. So I had to think about that for a minute, not too long, but a minute. So at the time, she was living in Jacksonville, and I was in Orlando, and we would commute back and forth to see each other. So I was going to go up there for the weekend to see her, and she was living with her brother at the time, her sister-in-law. And so I went up there, and before I left, I said, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, okay, how badly do I need this beard? And I'm doing it for her. Now, J-Con, once again, when we're talking about the alpha male thing, some people would say, well, you're just whipped. If you're just going to do what she said. I'm trying to say this nicely because it's a family-friendly show. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean. You say, okay, you're under her. She's got you under her thumb when you're just going to do whatever she says, and so you're not a real man. You're not a he-man. You're not an alpha male because you're just going to do whatever she says. I know somebody said that to me once, not about the beard, something else, and he was wrong, by the way. But here's the way I look at it. A real alpha male loves his women. A real alpha male loves his women, and they care about their women, and they're going to put their women first. That's what a real alpha male is. They're going to put their women first, and they're going to look after them. They're going to look out for them, and they're going to put them first all the time. And that's what an alpha male does. A real man takes care of his woman, right? So that's why I looked in the mirror and I said, okay, all right. So I shaved it off, and that's what happened. And her reaction when she saw me, I don't know if she's still wise. She probably fell asleep by now. Let me see. She knows the story. So Zachariah says, wife 1, Disney 0. There you go. There you go. Exactly. So let's see. Anyway. J-Con asked, so I'm telling you the story. So when I pulled up into the driveway, and she was looking out the window, she was waiting for me to arrive, and I got out of the car, and as soon as she saw that I was clean shaven, she ran out the door and she just jumped in my arms, and because she knew that at that point I was hers and she was mine. She knew at that point that I was committed when she saw that, and that was that's something I'll never forget. I just getting out of the car, and then she just runs out and she just leaps in my arms and she just gives me this big hug, and she's so happy to see me. That right there was worth it. That was worth it. And that's I'm just saying, guys. Love your ladies. Take care of your ladies. Be good to them. That's just another way to show that you love them, that you care. Zachariah says, what a heartwarming story. Well, thank you, Zachariah. I appreciate that. It's anyway, so we have more to do, and it's getting late, but we're gonna run through these other things too. I don't want to drink any more of that beer because I've got a cider and we've got a Mead to do. This is gonna be a long show tonight, folks. Also, I've got a short film to show related to the beard, by the way. I'm sure some people have seen it before, some people haven't. Anyway, so let's get to the cider. So this is what we got here. We've got a cider to review. Where is this? Right here. So the cider, what did I do with it? Here it is. This is what we're reviewing tonight. This is a 1911 maple bourbon barrel-aged premium small batch hard cider. So this is a cider, and I have it right here. Now, I did not chill the cider. The cider is not chilled because it said to let me show you the back of this thing. I've got it in my hand, as a matter of fact. This is the back of it. I'm going to read the back. It's on a sweetness scale. A sweetness scale, which you can barely see off to the side, off to the left side. It's between a 4 and a 5. Sweetness scale. Yep. Ciders can be bitter or sweet or run anywhere in between all that, if you're familiar with ciders. Maple bourbon barrel, I'm reading this from the back here. Maple bourbon barrel aged hard cider is the first limited release in our Elevated Masters series. Patient attention to detail was the key ingredient to creating truly unique flavor profiles in this line of ciders. Oh, in this lineup of ciders. Okay. It says MBBAHC, because that's the acronym, I guess, for this whole maple bourbon barrel aged premium small batch hard cider. Is a sweet cider that has been years in the making. Beak and Skiff Apple Orchards has committed ourselves to quality and innovation for over 100 years. From our 5th generation family to yours, we hope you enjoy over 100 years of history and heritage in every can. And there's a government warning. Now here are the ingredients. I don't know if you can see them down there. Here are the ingredients in here if you want to know. Hard cider, sugar, natural maple flavoring, sulfites, caramel color, and carbonation. This is handcrafted in New York. Yeah, this is made in New York City. New York City. Family owned and gluten-free. So Tommy, if you're watching, Tom Antio, if you're watching now or later, this is a gluten-free product. Produced by Beak and Skiff Apple Farms Incorporated in Lafayette, New York. And the website is beakandskiff.com. So that is the cider that we're going to open now. And we're going to open it. I've got a different cider glass. Here we go. I've got a mug here. That's glass here for the cider. Come a long way from the wine, haven't we? So we're going to try a little bit of the cider. We're going to pour a little bit in. Okay, it has a nice foam to it. Now, ciders, a lot of ciders are carbonated. And you know what? Since I'm at it here, because I can, I didn't bring the other book, the beer tasting notebook, but I do have with me the official Drink with Rick cider tasting notebook. And by the way, all these notebooks are available from Amazon.com for $8.99 each. The wine, we have the wine notebook, the beer notebook, the cider notebook, and the Mead notebook. They're all available, and this is where you can put your tasting notes in here. We're reviewing these things, and but I give them away on the show very often. I do that. This is actually a brand new copy that. I had printed up. Anyway, we're going to follow this a little bit, huh? Not really. Okay, so we've got the cider in the glass. Let's give it a little bit of a whiff. Now, this is supposed to be maple, and it does smell a little bit like maple. Actually, it does smell a fair amount like maple. Let's give it a little taste. Wow, actually I wasn't expecting that. I did look around on the website and looked at reviews, and they said, some people said it did taste like maple, and others say it didn't taste like much of anything, but this has a definite maple flavor, and I like maple. I've had maple bourbons, and I think we talked about the last season where I went to a place where they made their own bourbons in their own whiskeys in St. Augustine, Florida. And they had one that was maple, and it was really good. Really, really good. I was impressed with it. This one right here. Wow, I got to get another. I still hope they have some of this. I purchased this one at Trader Joe's also, and I forgot to mention when I got the peanut butter beer and the maple for it. But the peanut butter beer I paid I think $2.99 for. Yeah, $2.99 I believe. The maple maple bourbon beer, I think it was a little bit more than that. I'm not absolutely sure. I lost the receipt. Sorry. But it's actually pretty good. I like it. And I love maple. If you like maple syrup and that sort of thing, this definitely has a maple flavor to it. Now, I'm not really tasting a lot of apple in this thing. Oftentimes I'm having some more of this. That's how much I like it. I'm not someone who likes to taste too much apple in apple flavored, and I know it's apple cider. It's supposed to taste like apple, but when I get a flavored cider, I like to taste more of the flavor than the apple. This, I'm not tasting any of the apple hardly at all. I'm tasting, and this is apple. It says so, apples. Did I read that? Yeah, I did. I'm tasting mostly maple. Oh, this is good. Oh, I like this. This is very, very, very good. I'd say this one gets a... Where's my... Missed it. Where's my hole-in-one? There we go.
Oh, there you go. Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Yeah, this gets the hole-in-one. I like this one. Oh, I could drink this, more of this. Wow. I only got one can of it. They might not, a lot of these things are seasonal too, so they might not still be there. But I think I picked that one up at. I want to say I picked that one up at Total Wine. I think I did, but I may have seen it at Trader Joe's as well. But I think I picked that one up at Total Wine. No, this is actually pretty good. Oh wow, drink some more of that. Oh my. Yeah, it's very smooth. This is a very smooth cider. It's carbonated. Yeah, it is somewhat carbonated. And if you look in the cider notebook, sweetness, yes, in between. It's going to be on my sweetness scale. It's about a 3. It's fairly dry, but it's kind of sweet too. So it's kind of in between. It is light-bodied. There is a fair amount of acidity in it, so I put the acidity at a 3, or I wouldn't say a 4, maybe a 3. Carbonation is high on this. This has a lot of carbonation in here, so it's a lot. I'd say it's high, between a 4 and a 5. But the carbonation holds up pretty well too. It's not like it just fizzes out. Some ciders they'll start off fairly highly carbonated, and then they just kind of, as you drink about halfway through it, it kind of fizzles out. This doesn't do that. So far it's been holding up very well, the carbonation. I really like. Oh, this is good. This is really good. Wow. I like this. 1911 maple bourbon, barrel-aged, premium small batch hard cider. Yeah, I could let me put the photo back up here again. This is really good. I like it. That's the back of it. Let me go back to. Let me put the front back on. There we go. There we go. That's nice. I like that. I'm surprised. I really didn't know what to expect. I wasn't, to be honest, when it said maple bourbon, barrel aged, I really didn't have a whole lot of high hopes on it. I thought, oh, this is going to taste a little weird. But I'm surprised at how smooth this tastes and how good it is. Now, as far as the the alcohol content. This is a 16 fluid ounce can. Let's see what's it. 6.9%. Okay, it's on in the corner. You can't really see it there in the photo. 6.9% ABV. So that's the. I like this. This is good, and it has a very nice color to it. Look at it. And does have that apple. It does have that apple cider tone to it. You know, the color. The color has a very nice color to it. This is really good. I'm impressed. I wasn't expecting that. Alan Hayes says, "Hey Rick, sorry I missed a little bit of the show. Got distracted with a call. Did I miss the beard story? Yes, you did, and I'm not yeah, I'm not retelling you now. It was a long. But yeah, right. So you can go back and watch it. You're on the replay. You can catch it on the replay. I don't know how far it is into the show. It's pretty far into it. But I did tell the beard story. Actually, Jaycon can probably recount some of that to you, if he hasn't slipped through it. All right, so that was the cider. We have one more tasting to do. Oh, I'm going to jump the gun on that, aren't I? I have one more tasting to do. And this is for the mead. Now, this is going to be interesting. I have a story about the mead, a slight story about it. I told you this is going to be a long show. I was expecting that tonight. All right, so I went to, I was at the same farmer's market that we were talking about earlier with the bison burgers. I went to the same farmer's market, and one of the reasons that I went to the farmer's market was because my wife had been there. She had been there with her neighbor a couple of weeks previously, and she came across a booth with someone selling mead, a couple of mead sellers, and she says, "Well, you got to try this mead." And they did a tasting. She seemed to like it, I guess, but they did this tasting. And she said, "Well, I'm going to bring." She says, "I'm going to bring a couple of bottles back for you. What would you like?" And I said, "Well, we could try a couple of these, and I'll review them on the show." And that's what I'm doing tonight for one of them. So one of these, let me get the photo up here. If I can bring it back up here. Yeah, there's one of me. This is what we're going to try out tonight. This is a lavender mead. A lavender mead. Now, I do have this. It's also in the official Drink with Rick bucket, ice bucket. The official Drink with Rick ice bucket. There it is. I've been keeping this chilled because they recommended that it be chilled. Now, my wife purchased this one for me. She told me how much it cost. Now, I went to the farmer's market because I was intrigued. Now, mead, okay, a local mead seller. Not unusual at a farmer's market, really, because they're going to have natural honey and things like that, and so there's probably going to be a mead seller there. But there were actually two, and the one we're trying tonight is this one. It's from Stardust Cellars. This is interesting for a couple of reasons. One, a little story behind this one. So my wife went there and she saw this and she said, she listed off some mead. She was on the phone with me and I said, well, let me try the lavender one. We'll try the lavender mead. That sounds very interesting. She said, okay. So she brought back this bottle of lavender mead. Now, I went there about a week or so ago. I said, I really want to go see all these meat sellers out there and see what's going on. The same place that I met the bison guy. And I went and met her. A nice lady. Her name's Connie. That's my aunt Connie, who's no longer with us, unfortunately. But so her name, it was Connie. Yeah, okay. So I met her, nice lady, and she was telling me all about the meads, and I I was really interested in this. She says this is a traditional lavender. She says, you got to try the lavender mead. Did you get the lavender mead? I said, yes, I did. She says, you've got to try this. You've got to try the lavender. She says, I can't even keep it in stock. I can't keep it in stock. It's just it's too high demand. So I said, okay, so I'll try the lavender. So we did get the bottle of lavender. This bottle of lavender mead cost $10, $9.99 or $10. And the reason, now, you think, oh, that's kind of expensive for a bottle like this, because this is not a, this is not a big bottle. When you're looking at the mead, let me go back to the photos here. Or was I? Oh, here, do it this way. You look at that. That's really not a big bottle. I mean, it's like a bottle of soda. It's like there's the same. It's it's not a lot. And so, but that's okay. That's okay. That's expected. $10 for that bottle. And some folks would say, well, why does it cost $10 for that bottle? It looks like a bottle of soda pop. Who calls it pop? I don't know. So there's a reason for that, and the reason is simply because of the fact that the mead, if you know what mead is made of, mead is made from honey. And here's the back end. Let me read the back end of this first. Mead is made from honey. Honey is that's not cheap. Bees are not in abundant supply like wine, like grapes are. It's not like grapes, where you have abundance of grapes. But there's only so much honey out there. Only so many bees, and it takes a lot to cultivate that, to harvest that. And so honey is going to be expensive anyway. It's a natural sugar, a natural product. And real mead, real honey, not some of the fake stuff that you get in the supermarket. Real honey, when you make that into mead, it's not a cheap process. So it's going to cost more. So that's not unexpected. But here's the Stardust Cellars, the back end. It says our meads are naturally, and here are the thing. Here's the thing about mead. Mead is actually kind of a healthy thing to drink. It's actually good for you. Honey is healthier than sugar. Than raw grain sugar or whatever. It's a grain sugar. What am I saying? You know what I mean? Sugar cane. Okay, so Stardust Cellar says here, our meads are naturally gluten-free, no sugar added, all natural ingredients, cold, settled, and unfiltered, residual sugars actively being consumed. Now, that's a very interesting statement right there, too. It's, in other words, they're not adding sulfites to this to create more sugar. These are actually, the residual sugars are actively being consumed. Racked in the winter cold when the moon is closest to the earth to avoid filtration and clarification agents. Now that sounds a little bit more like, mystical stuff, but it's okay. Learn more about the ancestry of mead at stardustcellars.com. Now there is a third. There's a third one to this side, and it says here, may contain naturally occurring sulfites. And I was referring to the sulfites, what creates the alcohol. It says live wild cultures, chill and allow the stardust to settle before serving. Local raw honey and well water are hand stirred clockwise to conjure native microorganisms. So there you go. That's what that's all about. Now, I'm not going to go into all the nuances of mead making tonight. I'm familiar with some of them, not all of them, but some of them. But let's say this is, from what my conversation with them at Stardust Cellars, is that this is not just a mead, but it is a mead that was that was created through the original process, the original natural process that the ancient Norsemen did it. This is how it was done and originally in the Vikings, how they made mead. And it's not no artificial additives or anything like this. It's all natural. So we're going to open this. Let's go ahead and open this. I'll do it this way. Okay. Let's open this up. And let me check the chats one more time. Let me check the chats one more time to make sure we're not missing anything. Zachariah says, yes, it's good that you got the horn. I said it. Well, that's what I'm getting to. I'm actually, it's funny you should bring that up because I'm getting right to that. Island Hayes says, one of my favorite beers is a lavender, sunflower honey, and date brew from Mead Brewing Company. I love the lavender and honey combo. I do too. And you know what? Here's the thing. I'm very familiar with the lavender taste because I've had a lot of lavender tea. I love lavender tea. And when I have a lavender tea, what I put in there is not sugar or not any of these artificial sweeteners. I'll put in a spoonful of honey. And I use, I'll put in my lavender tea, I'll put honey in it. So I know what this should taste like. We'll see if it tastes like that. This is a really, wow, look at that. That's a really full, let me get a close-up of this. Look at it is full to, I'm not kidding. It is full to the brim. Can you see that? Can you see that at the very, very top? It is, let me see if I can get a better shot of this. So we get a better shot of this here on the camera 2. There we go. Can you see at the top? This is a full, I just popped this thing open. I have never seen that before. Now, this may not be a big deal to some people, but to me, that's a really big deal. I have never seen that before where it is full right up to the brim. That's interesting. The things that get me excited. What can I say? The things that get me excited. So, well, anyway, so I was, what was I doing here? I'm hitting the wrong buttons. Already had too much to drink, haven't I? Where's my camera? There we go. All right, so anyway, this is full to the brim. Okay, Zacharias, you mentioned the horn. Well, I've got some news for you. I have here. Yeah, we're going to drink it the traditional way. We're not going to just drink it in a glass. I could drink it in a glass, but we're not going to just drink it in a glass tonight. Tonight, we're going to drink it.
You're kidding.
We're going to drink it in a horn. I have never done this before. Never tried this before. We're going to try it for the first time tonight. I'm going to drink it. Whoa. Well, I should have just... Yeah, that's a little foamier than I expected. Let me clear that up a little bit. All right, so I guess the horn doesn't hold that much, or it just got really foamy. Let me put a little bit more in here. There we go. I've never poured anything into a horn before. This is a new experience for me. This is a 100% new experience for me. So, what can I say? Yeah, I know. Well, here we go. Let me give it a little bit of a whiff. By the way, I do have the Drink with Rick, the official Drink with Rick Mead tasting notebook. I could give one away to somebody who doesn't have one yet. Actually, let me give it a little bit of a whiff. I can't really tell too much from this horn because it doesn't have a wide enough brim for me to get my nose into it. So I can't really tell. But I'm still smelling maple from my fingers from that thing. But I can't say that it's very effervescent because I can feel the effervescence just popping up to my nose. It's a little carbonated. Let's give it a little bit of a taste. Wow, okay. Very interesting. It does taste like lavender. And I'm drinking it out of a horn. What kind of a horn, I'm not absolutely sure. Maybe it's a bison horn. I don't know. I don't know.
No.
That was my mom, by the way. That was the first word I learned, I think, when I was a kid, was no. Oh, wow, this is very interesting. It definitely tastes like lavender. There's a very strong lavender taste to it. It's carbonated. So it's very, let me see if I'm... That's the opposite of being still. Like when you're talking about meads, there's still, and there is a light or medium or intense carbonation. Let me see where I've got the taste. Let me look at the taste here. The appearance is kind of hard to tell because I'm looking at it through a horn. But it does have this yellow. I mean, look from the bottle. It's kind of a yellow, clear, a little bit cloudy, just a little bit cloudy. Very carbonated. That's a 4. Maybe it's high carbonated, I would say. Let's see, but it's carbonation has sent me. But this is very interesting. It's very strong lavender taste. Very strong. If you don't like lavender, you might not like this. But for those who do like a lavender taste, if you like a lavender taste, that's like a lavender tea or something, is very much like that. Now, it does not taste like the lavender tea with the honey in it, like I had. But I think the lavender is kind of. I wouldn't say it's overpowering, but it's kind of. It's the dominant flavor here. It is though, but as Connie said, it is she really wanted me to try the lavender because I think they've kind of worked with the formula for this, and it's they're quite proud of this particular one. And she said they can't keep this in stock; they're out of stock. They've been out of stock on this for a while, and I can see why. I like lavender, and it has a very, very. It does. It kind of has a Nordic taste to it. I don't know what that means. Come on, I really don't know what that means. Nordic taste. I just made that up, but it really does. It's kind of exotic. I like this. It does. It's like I want to go out and watch How to Train Your Dragon or something. That's a joke, by the way.
No.
Anyway, this is very good. I like this, and it's kind of powerful. It's a powerful taste. It is. It's not like a really light taste.
It is a powerful taste, and I think the experience of drinking it out of a horn, something I've never tried before, is wow, that's something else. That's definitely something else. The only thing about the horn is these Norsemen, when you're drinking out of a horn, I guess you just kind of have to hold on to it, right? Because I mean, what are you going to do? You can't set it down somewhere. Can you like stick it in the ground or something when you gotta go off and I gotta go to the bathroom. We're gonna hold my meat for me or something. You gotta stick it in the ground or something. I don't know. I think it's empty. I guess you just set it down. I guess you drink it all and then you set it down on the table or something. Or you can't do the traditional, throw it in the fireplace kind of thing. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so wow, that was an interesting experience. Okay, I like this. I like the lavender mead. I will say that there is a slight honey taste to it, but I think the lavender is really the predominant taste. It's the dominant taste in this beverage. And I forgot to see what was the alcohol content on this thing. It was. Let me go back to the photos here. Mead. It was. It's not on that page. Where's the alcohol content on this thing? Oh my goodness! I should have checked before. All right. Yeah, that's okay. That's. Look at the front. Can you see the front? 14% ABV. That's higher. That's a higher alcohol content than the wine. 14% ABV. I'm gonna feel that in the morning. Okay, so yeah. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what I can say to that. Yeah, that's I'm just gonna be pushing buttons all night tonight because I'm just I've had 14% ABV. Wow, that's a fair amount. It is. Zacharias says. Zacharias says this is the true way to enjoy mead. I absolutely agree with you there. I know. I mean the whole mead experience. I like this horn thing. I do. I just don't know how to put it down. Really, I guess you're not supposed to until it's empty, right? Zacharias says makes sense that it's more lavender. Since the sugar in the honey is turned to alcohol. Yes. LOL. Strong Viking Joyce. Strong Viking Joyce. Yeah. It is. And Tom Antio's in the chat, by the way. Tom Antio's in the chat on Twitch. Says, "Hi, Dad. How's the wine?" Well, we've progressed past the wine at this point. Says, "I can't stay for long, but wanted to pop in." Well, I'm glad you did, Tom Antio. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate you popping in and saying hi. And what am I doing? My reactions here. That's yeah. Okay. No, that's not the one I wanted. No, that's not the one either. This is it. Okay. I've had too much of this. It's time to close it up, I think. There is one more thing I did want to cover. And this was a coffee. I didn't want to cover coffee. Oh, yeah, we did want to show a short film, right? So we can show a short film. This would be a very, very short film. Let me find it here. I've got to find it again. I've got to find the short film again. Where is it? It's because I lost track of it here. Okay, for those of you who are not familiar with Space Apes, because Space Apes has been mentioned a few times here, I'm going to show you the preview, the promo for Space Apes from Ice Planet Alpha. This was a film that I made back in 1992. Here you go. Next week on the show, join us. Oh, wait, that's not it. That's the wrong promo. Let's try it again. If I can find it, what did I do with it? Oh, I know what I do with it. Yeah, because I'm starting to feel the effects of this. Here in media. Here we go.
In 1992, two amateur filmmakers created a movie and showed it to their local film club. Now, after 31 years, it's being shown to the world.
I like it. Yeah, really neat. And remember, we want this to look really professional. We're gonna need some ape suits.
Rick Savoya,
You guys really think I look like a space ape?
Jack Marsh,
It's only Captain Filmmaker over here.
Brendan Nelson,
It's carpet fuzz.
Tom Williams,
Take a look at this, Captain. The planet is coming into view.
and Jerry Butlin as Bernard.
Hi, I'm Bernard.
Who's Bernard?
Space Apes from Ice Planet Alpha, produced entirely.
Whoops. Okay, I messed up there. I hit the wrong button. We're back. All right, let me try that again. If I can find out what I do with it. There it is.
In 1992, two amateur filmmakers created a movie and showed it to their local film club. Now, after 31 years, it's being shown to the world.
I like it. Yeah, really neat. And remember, we want this to look really professional. We're gonna need some ape suits.
Rick Savoya,
You guys really think I look like a space ape?
Jack Marsh,
If only Captain Filmmaker over here.
Brendan Nelson,
It's carpet fuzz.
Tom Williams,
Take a look at this, Captain. The planet is coming into view.
and Jerry Butlin as Bernard.
Hi, I'm Bernard.
Who's Bernard?
Space Apes from Ice Planet Alpha, produced entirely on Super 8mm film.
This is pretty neat.
Hey, yeah. This is where you guys get to show off your creative talents. Okay, then you're gonna have to hurry up and learn your lines while we change the set.
Tell them it's experimental.
Huh. What's this? It's the greatest thing ever shot on Super 8.
What did you say the name was?
Space Apes from Ice Planet Alpha.
I just stepped in the office when you called.
It's that unnecessary. He turned out to shave his name, didn't he? See?
Very fine. It's not funny. I've been having trouble sleeping lately.
You're not having very good nightmares, Ian, are you?
No. Work. It's personal. I'd rather not talk about it. Well, I need an operation.
Who said you need an operation?
Oh, I did. Did the secretary though?
Oh, no. I mean, like, what's bad about it? I mean, what happens if you don't have an operation?
I'll grow mold on my eardrums.
Mold? You mean, like on these Petri dishes here?
No. Like this.
That looks like a marshmallow.
That looks like ketchup.
It is ketchup, but that sure isn't a
Marshmallow.
It's a completely different kind of coffee. Say, who gets to make the coffee in your house?
Oh, darn, I'm muted. How could I be muted? I apologize for that. Okay, that explains why I couldn't hear myself out of the, my apologies. All right, let's do that again. All right, so here's the deal. I tried this, I'm going to do this all over again. Oh, goodness. All right, so last season I talked about this IHOP buttery syrup coffee, and I called it a pancake coffee. That's not really what it was called. It was called IHOP buttery syrup coffee. And I was going to try it out. I was going to review on the show, but as it turns out, I didn't need to because my wife and I had tried it beforehand, and it was just plain nasty. It was nasty coffee. I checked it out. Checked out the reviews on Amazon. And by the way, Island Hayes, thanks for catching that. I appreciate that. So I checked out on Amazon. It had some decent reviews on Amazon, which surprised me because that's where I purchased it. Was Amazon.com. This coffee, and my wife and I tried it, and it was. That's all I can say. It was nasty. So that's why we're not brewing it tonight. We're not going to brew it, and we have brewed coffees on the show in the past, but we're not brewing one tonight. It just is because let me just put it this way: you don't need to. it's nasty. But that's my opinion. That's my personal opinion. Some people seem to like it. I did not. I did not like it at all. It was not good. So that's the IHOP buttery syrup, artificially flavored coffee, and I'm just telling you this. That I tried it, so you don't have to. Just to be honest, and I mean, to sum it up.
It's a completely different kind of coffee.
Yeah, and
Say, who gets to make the coffee in your house?
I do. So anyway, Island Hayes said, no more, is that mods? Oh, no more mods. Thankfully, no more mods. We've gone through all the mods coffee. We're not doing those anymore. We've been through that. I'll tell you what, I gotta put the 14% ABV. I'm starting to feel this. I am. So I guess it's time to close up the show for tonight. Oh, wait. We can't yet because there's one more thing. As Columbo would say, just one more thing. I know they watch Columbo in Sweden. I know that they do. Okay, there's one more thing we have to do. Let's see if I can find it. Yes, I've got this. Photos. As you know, you're probably familiar with this. You're familiar with all of these. The Drink with Rick wine tasting notebook, the beer tasting notebook, the cider tasting notebook, and the mead tasting notebook. However, I do have something that I do want to give away tonight, which is something new. And this would be, what did I do with it? Oh, there it is. During the break, I designed this. I designed the Drink with Rick, the official Drink with Rick book holder and a coaster holder. This is where you can set your glass on this. It's across the room, so I can't even get it right now. But let me show you what it looks like in real life, IRL. This is a an item where you can put your Drink with Rick coaster, and I've got some that are really, really worn out here. Drink with Rick coaster right here. And you can put all your Drink with Rick, official Drink with Rick tasting notebooks in here. I've got the Mead and the cider one right here. And you can set your glass on it. Wine glass or whatever on the coaster. And revert to your mode. Now, this isn't limited to any of the notebooks. This is something that you can use if you like to read and drink your wine while you're reading your favorite book, your favorite novel, or whatever it is. Their technical book or whatever. How-to book. Self-improvement book or whatever. Whatever, I don't know. Who done it? Yeah, it's the kind of thing. You just set it right in here, and you've got your book, basically the book nook here, the book holder, and this. And I made a few of them, and I'd like to give one away tonight to someone who would like to have one. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if I can ship to Sweden. To be honest, I don't know, Zacharias, if I can ship this to Sweden. I'll find out. I don't know if I can. But I can ship to the lower 48 in the United States. So, whoever wants one of these. I'll tell you what, Jacon, do you have one of these? Island Haze, do you have one of these? I've got a couple of these. I can send one to each of you. How about that? Just send in your because I don't keep them. I really don't. But send in your shipping address to rick@savoyamedia.com, rick@savoyamedia.com, right down here at the bottom, and I can ship you one. Zacharias, I'd like to send you one too, but I don't know if I can ship to Sweden. I don't know. I'll find out. And if I can, let's see if I can arrange to do that at some point. Just follow me on YouTube, because I think you're watching me on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube, and I'll see if I can ship one there and see if that can be done. And if that can be done, I'll see what it can do. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I've never shipped anything to Sweden before, to be honest. Zachary says, I think it will get lost on the way. That's what I'm kind of concerned about. But and Zachary says, I'm already subscribed. Well, I wanted to say I really, really appreciate it, Zacharias. I really do appreciate it. And once again, I don't... I've got the wrong item up here. Where is it here? This is not. Where is my? I wasn't really prepared, was I? Yeah, I wasn't. So, where are my fireworks? I had my fireworks. I used to have my fireworks up here, and I don't think I have them anymore. Ah, darn. What had to do with my fireworks? Anyway, here's to you, Zacharias. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I think it's time to close it up tonight, because between the 13% ABV here and the 5% ABV here and the 6.5% ABV here and the 14% ABV here, I think I'm done for the night. But and as Chi would say, I've got a lot of explaining to do tomorrow morning. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here with me tonight. Yeah, I've never done this before. I'm we've done a lot of wine streams. We've done 251 wine streams. I have never done one where I've gone through every single one of these. Now, usually we do a beer and a wine, or a beer or a wine, a beer, and a wine and a mead, or a wine and a cider, or something like that, or coffee, or soda or something like that. But this is the first time that I've ever done one where I've done all 4 together, and I have to say this is a record. Zachariah says, hopefully I'll get drunk with you next stream. Thank you, Zachariah. I really appreciate you being here with me tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. Look, to answer Jaycon's question, I don't know if he's still there with us. Are you still there with us, Jaycon? He did ask a question as to what he was asking about the future plans, and you're saying this is your last stream, and no, this is the last season of the Saturday Night Wine Stream. This is the way it works. If you notice where I do Drink with Rick is the brand. It's the website. You go to drinkwithrick.com, and I do all the reviews and that sort of thing. The reviews aren't going to stop. They still do the reviews on the various things that we review. The wines, the beers, the ciders, the meads, that kind of thing. The Winestream, which is kind of its own thing, that's what I'm doing here every Saturday night. So this is the last season of the Winestream. So the reviews will keep, we'll still keep doing the reviews, but there'll be shorter videos, and they'll just regular videos and things of various reviewing various beverages. But the Winestream is the last season for the Winestream. And the reason for that is because it's very, very expensive to do this. I do it in my home studio. I don't make any money on it. You notice I don't have any sponsors or anything like that. I don't run ads or anything like that per se. Aside from selling my own books and things like that, I don't really make any money. I actually don't make any money on this. It's just a labor of love. It's just something that I do for fun. And like all things, all good things must come to an end. It gets to the point where I can't really sustain it. I can't afford to sustain it health-wise or financially forever. So as much as I enjoy doing it, the Winestream, I have to end this. Now, it doesn't mean that I will stop streaming. I will be streaming other things, and as the weeks go on, as we get to the final Winestream for the season, I will tell you about my future plans for streaming and what I'm going to be doing, because I do have some plans and I do have some really, really cool things I want to do streaming-wise. But as far as the Winestream is concerned, this will be the last season of that. It's just getting a little bit too expensive, a little bit too intensive, time-intensive, and also health-wise too intensive for me to keep that up. So that's what's happening there. But I don't want you to walk away thinking that I'm just dropping the stream or dropping the Drink with Rick at all, because I'm not really doing that. It's just taking a little bit of a different turn. So that's where we are right there. But if you're subscribed, I'll keep you up to date on what's going on as well. And if you're subscribed to YouTube, any of the channels there, you'll still continue to get all of the actual videos that I put out as I put out the actual videos. They just won't be live per se. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm doing there. To answer your question earlier, Jaycon, that's what that's going on. But I'll give more details. I'll provide more details as we go along into the season, and I'll keep you informed, because you are part of the show. You're a very important part of the show, and I feel as part of the show, it's important to keep you informed and in the loop as to what's going on with it. So, and I really appreciate it. So, having said that, I want to say that I really, really do appreciate each and every one of you. I want to thank everybody for being here, who joined me here tonight. I want to thank Zacharias. And Zacharias says, I'm going to go to sleep at 6 a.m. for me at the moment. Wow, that is early. Wow, that's you've been up all night. I really, really appreciate you being here, Zacharias.
But I want to thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Zechariah says, thanks for the stream. Love you, Rick. Have a great night. Same here, Island Hayes. I really, really appreciate it. You all have a great evening. I want to thank Island Hayes and Zacharias for being here, and for Tom Antio, and for my lovely wife Chi, and for Jaycon, for everybody who's joined me here tonight. I do appreciate each and every one of you. And now, before we go, there is one more celebrity I want to bring out. You know, it's your friend and mine, Roadkill Bill. Yeah, with a very special message for you, as you know what it is. Roadkill Bill says, please do not drink and drive. Drink from the comfort of your home, your apartment, your hotel room, your dwelling, whatever it is. Please don't drink and drive. If you have to go somewhere, call an Uber, call a Lyft, call a cab, call a friend, call a bus, get on a bus, whatever. Just don't drink and drive, please. And call a friend you trust who hasn't been drinking and who can drive you home safely. Has a valid driver's license too, by the way. And don't text and drive either, because that is also very, very dangerous. Because I want you to have a great week. Bill and I both do, right, Bill? Yeah. I want you to have a great week, but I want you to have a safe week. So you can join me here again next week on the Saturday Night Winestream, and we can all get together and drink with Rick. Good night.